going to turn them into Pop-Tarts. Now, why would this be a better Pop-Tart than what you can get in the store? It's going to have a little bit less sugar. You can control what goes in it. It's not going to have as many preservatives. And we're going to show you some fruit-filling ones, and it's going to taste much better and have 100% fruit inside of it with minimal added sugar. So, what you're going to need first is you're going to need 2.5 cups of flour in your bowl. So I'm going to show you one measurement of flour just so you can kind of see. So you want a dry measuring cup, and then you're going to want something to level it off with. And you're going to level off your flour, and you're going to add it to your bowl. So the other ingredients that you're going to need is you're going to need 1.5 tablespoons of salt. So you'll add your 1.5 tablespoons of salt to your bowl. And then you need 6 tablespoons of butter. And so you'll slice it up. You want to make sure that your butter is really cool and cold. And then you need 3/4 of a cup of shortening. So your shortening can be bought in a tub or in sticks, either way. But your shortening also needs to be chilled as well. So once you get all of those things into your bowl, it's going to look something like a yay. Once you get that, you're also going to want to have to your side 1/2 cup of water. And the water needs to be chilled or iced water because you want to add cold water. You don't want to add anything lukewarm or cold to the mixture. So as you're mixing the dough, so this is something you can get your kids involved in, get their hands a little dirty with some dough. And you can add, what you're looking for is your butter and your shortening to mix with your flour and become a pea-sized piece of dough. So you're going to just mix that, and you're going to keep mixing it. Now remember that you are using your hands, so before you start any of it, you want to make sure that you wash your hands under warm water with soap and water for 20 seconds at least. So make sure that anyone that's helping you with their hands, you've got some clean hands so that you limit what kind of germs you're bringing into your baking. So as you are mixing it, you're still looking for it to become pea-sized dough. So it's going to look a little bit like something like that. Once you get the pea-sized dough pieces, you're going to add your water. Now, anytime you're adding liquid to dough, make sure you add a little bit at a time, because if you add too much, you could mess up your ratio. So you're going to add a little bit of water at a time. You're adding 1/2 cup is your ultimate goal, but you're just going to add a little bit at a time to get your pastry mixture. And once you get your pastry mixture, it's going to be ready. Now you can roll this up and it can store in your fridge like this. All this is a pie crust. So it can be your pastry base, it can be a pie crust base, anything like that. But we're going to use it as our Pop-Tart base and our Pop-Tart tops. So, you want to make sure that you don't have any crumbly. You want it all to be stuck together dough, which means you're going to have a little sticky on your hands, but that is totally okay. So, it's going to, once you can form a ball with your dough, it'll be ready for us to roll out, and then we're going to talk about what fillings can look like inside of your tasty homemade Pop-Tart. So the next step that we're going to do after you've gotten your dough balls all ready to go, so they're rolled up and they're ready, right before we roll them out, we're going to go ahead and make our filling. So we're going to do a mixed berry filling because guess what? It's blueberry season, so you can at least have blueberries. But you can choose any filling that you want. So you can put blueberries in it, you can put blackberries, just raspberries, you can put chocolate, cinnamon. So I'll show you what some of those look like completed, but I'm going to show you how to make the berry one. So you're going to put your berries in a strainer, wash them really good, and then you're going to just dump them into a bowl. Once you have them in the bowl, you're going to just mash them. So a fork will mash them just fine. You just want to get the berries mashed up so that you kind of have a liquidy consistency with your berries. So if you mash, you can also stick them in your blender to get them blended real quick. But you're really not wanting a fine mash. You're just wanting something that's rough so that you just get the juices started and you can mix into a paste, because you're going to want more of a paste when you're filling the middle of the Pop-Tart. So it's going to take you just a second. Get all those berries nice. Now, why is it good to make the Pop-Tarts with the berries? It means that you have less added sugar and a whole lot more of just the natural benefits of the berries. It'll make a great snack, make a good breakfast, all those good things. So you're looking for a consistency about like that. Once you make sure all the berries, you want all of them to be smushed and juiced. You don't really want any whole ones because that'll throw off your consistency for your Pop-Tart filling. So once you got all that mixed, there's a few things you're gonna need just a tiny bit of. So flour is one. You need just about a tablespoon of flour in the filling, and then just a little bit of sugar, or if your berries are sweet enough, you cannot add any sugar at all. So about a teaspoon of brown sugar, and then just a little small, about a teaspoon of vanilla extract are the three things that you're gonna add to whatever that filling is that you choose. So whether that be the raspberries by themselves, the blackberries by themselves, or just those nice juicy blueberries or strawberries that are starting to come off the bush. This is about what you're looking for that consistency to look like. So once we have our filling ready, which this is our wild berry, blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries with a little bit of flour and a little bit of brown sugar, we're gonna roll out the dough, the pastry dough. You're going to want to roll it out. You can either do it on a pastry mat, or if you have really cleaned your countertops before you start, really get them clean, and then you're going to roll the pastry dough out to about 1 inch thick. Try to keep it as square as possible because you're going to want a little bit more square so that your Pop-Tarts are square. Once you get it all rolled out, make sure you give yourself plenty of room. There are a few tools you need. So to do this, you want to make sure that you flour your countertop so that your dough doesn't stick to your countertop. And then you are going to need a rolling pin. You can also use a glass if you have a sturdy glass. Just be careful with using glass. But rolling pin, this is a stone rolling pin, but you can also use wood rolling pins, whatever you've got, or you've got pastry rolling pins, all kinds of different options. And then you're going to want a pizza cutter. And so your pizza cutter is going to give you the squares of what? So the first thing you're going to do is cut your dough into where you have a perfect square. And then you're going to cut it, so remove those pieces. Just put them in your other stash because you're going to come back and you'll probably have 2 or 3 times you roll out. So you're going to cut them as big as you want your Pop-Tarts to be. And then make sure that you stick to the same sizing for your Pop-Tarts. So, for example, that's about what size you want it to look like. So then you can place it on your next one to cut your next row. Same thing. You may get 2 or 3 rows out of each roll that you do. And then you're going to cut them into squares. And you want them to be very similar in size because you are baking. And so anytime you bake, you want them to be about the same size, because if things are not the same size, then they're not going to bake evenly when you're in the oven. So I'm going to show you what we do next. You want even amounts because you've got to have a top and you got to have a bottom. So you're going to pick which ones are going to be your tops and which ones are going to be your bottoms. So this row right here is going to be my bottoms for my Pop-Tarts. So what I'm going to do is have a larger spoon to be able to fill your center. You're going to take your spoon, and you're just going to put a line of your filling kind of towards the center, and as far to the edge as you want, but remember you got to create a seal on it. So you got to create a seal. So I'm going to give you a different flavor too. So this one is a strawberry. So they're going to be a little bit different colors just based on what you put in it. So once you get your filling in, you're going to take your top part and you're going to place it over and kind of create a seal around the part of the Pop-Tart. I'm just going to create a small seal around the part of the Pop-Tart. Small seal. That one's going to have to roll back out because it had a hole, and you really don't want a hole because that's going to not create that tight seal that you need. And this one didn't quite do it either, so what we'll do, just take a little bit of your dough and just patch it together, and it works just fine. Now, once we've done that with our Pop-Tarts, our next step to our Pop-Tart is to give it a little bit of an egg wash. So, these are totally vegan right now, so we're going to keep them a little vegan for those people that like eating vegan friendly. So, to make a vegan friendly egg, you can take a tablespoon of flaxseed with 3 tablespoons of water, and you get a flaxseed egg. So, we're going to dip our brush into it, and we'll brush it just right over the top. This is going to help give it that golden finishing touch that we are looking for with our Pop-Tarts. So try to get it as spread out as you can. Spread out as you can. Then you're going to need a larger fork. So the larger fork, and what you're going to do is you're going to go around your Pop-Tart, and you're creating that seal on your Pop-Tart's edges. So once you got that all done, you're going to carefully lift it up and transfer it onto your pan. Now, on your pan, you're going to want to have parchment paper down because that just helps with not sticking, or you're going to want to spray your pan really well so that your pastry doesn't stick while it cooks. You're going to also, as you've gotten started, want your oven to be preheating to 350 degrees, and then your Pop-Tarts will cook for about 22 minutes is how long it'll take your Pop-Tart to cook and be a finished Pop-Tart for you to enjoy. So once you've gotten your Pop-Tart cut, you can either use an egg wash, which some of my Pop-Tarts are going to be, or you can use a flaxseed egg wash. And so to make a flaxseed egg wash, you take a tablespoon of flaxseed to 3 tablespoons of water, and then this also has a little bit of milk in it. And that helps these Pop-Tarts stay totally vegan friendly. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your pastry brush.
Redo it. You have to say almond milk or something.
What did I say?
You said milk.
Oh.
So if people say milk, like they're gonna be like, it's not vegan.
Oh, sorry. I guess I just, okay.
Since you were saying vegan, I didn't want you to get messed up. So,
I just think milk, and that's where my mind goes.
Yeah, that's not where everyone else goes. Go.
So once you've gotten your pastries cut out to the Pop-Tart size that you want your Pop-Tart to be, we're going to then do an egg wash before you put your filling in. So you can either use a regular egg wash, which is just eggs beat up with a little bit of milk in it, almond milk in it. Or you can use flaxseed to totally keep these vegan. So it's got a tablespoon of flaxseed, 3 tablespoons of water, a little bit of almond milk to make your egg wash. So what you're gonna do is take your pastry brush, get it on there, and you're gonna put it on just your bottom pieces for now. And what this is gonna do is that's when you put the top pieces, it's gonna help to seal your bottom and your top piece together. Once you get all those done, you're then going to take your filling and you are going to put your filling kind of in the middle, just as far as you want the Pop-Tart. Some people like that Pop-Tart crust, or you can make it to where you have very little Pop-Tart crust, kind of however you would like to see it go. Then we're going to add a little bit of our cranberry one to one of them. So this is just total cranberries, nothing else except a little bit of flour in it to help give us not such a runny consistency. Then this one is our peanut butter banana. So I have a peanut butter banana Pop-Tart. So you can kind of make your fillings to whatever somebody wants them to look like. And then once you do that, you're gonna put your pastry on top and kind of still around that puddle you've got of your filling. Once you've got that done, you're gonna take your fork and you're gonna push down on every single side. Now this is really important to do because this is what's gonna help keep your filling in while it cooks. And if it gets a little sticky, just put it in your flour as you go around. That'll help it not stick to it. So once you get that all down, you're gonna take that flaxseed egg wash again, and you're gonna brush it on top. This is gonna help to create that golden color that you're looking for when it finishes cooking. So you're gonna thinly spread it. If you get a little chunks, make sure you spread those out. You don't want it to be too stuck together. Once you get that pastry, you're gonna set it on the pan with the other ones. And then important, before you put it in the oven, make sure you poke holes over the top of it. This helps release some of it, and it allows for that Pop-Tart to fully cook. Now your Pop-Tarts are ready to go in that preheated oven that is at 350 degrees for 22 minutes. So stick them in your oven, and make sure you set a timer so you don't lose track of how long they've been in the oven.